Welcome to the Stay Ready Real Estate Podcast, where we stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I'm your host, Emeka. And what this podcast is all about is letting you know that regular people like you and me can invest in real estate to become wealthy. You don't need millions and billions of dollars to invest in real estate. You can actually invest in real estate with little to no money down. I'm just here to let you know that as long as you have time and can take action, you can become wealthy. And all it takes is a couple of years for you to honestly become financially free. So tune in. Hope you enjoy. What's going on? It's your boy Emeka here. And today I'm going to talk about if I were to just graduate college and I was single and I just learned about real estate investing and I'm trying to figure out what strategy I would go with, I would easily house hack a small multifamily unit, preferably a quadplex or triplex or duplex. Let me tell you why. It's because the most expensive things that we spend money on, and I say we, anyone in America, is number one, housing. Number two is typically either a car payment or student loans, right? So housing, car payment, student loans, that is typically what I hear when I ask people that question. And if you can house hack, you are able to completely, well, let's say almost completely reduce and get rid of your monthly payment of housing. And you can pocket that and use that for more real estate investing or use it for whatever you're investing for, whether it's a lifestyle, to fund your car, to fund your boat, to fund your trips, right? And it's really that simple because if I would have known that it is just as easy to buy a quadplex as it is a single family home, my life would be changed forever. And you can reach financial freedom so much sooner because at the end of the day, you still need roughly the same amount for a down payment, right? That is, let's say, 3% for an FHA loan, right? And if you are somehow able to get that quadplex and rent it out before you get the FHA loan, whether you buy it to fix it up, use a hard money loan, and then refi out after it's rented and get that FHA loan, then the amount of money that you could save monthly is astronomical and it compounds, especially since if you're just graduating college um, and you get in the workforce, you can save up for a year to do this. After I graduated college, I got a job, saved for a year, bought my first house. And I don't regret not doing it, right? Because everything is so much easier to look at hindsight and say shoulda, coulda, woulda. And there will always be that instance. I think it's actually called hindsight bias, right? Just because we look back and are like, oh, shoulda did that. But at the time, you don't really think. But if you're watching this and you're in your 20s, and I do get to see the analytics of the people watching my videos, so I do know you are watching or listening, you need to listen up. House hacking is one of the most powerful tools that any investor can do. And the reason why I'm targeting you specifically is because you are the person who can take the most risk, right? Because if you are to fail, and I don't really believe in failures, but if you are to fail, then you can bounce back a lot easier than someone who is maybe in their late 20s, starting a family, has a baby on the way, or late 30s and 40s and already have multiple children, a W-2 job, and their wife doesn't want to go down to living with people. And I've heard of stories where people have a family and they live in a very nice duplex, 2,000 square foot, 3 bed, 2 bath. They use someone else to manage the property. But let's say you have a quadplex, right? A quadplex, and it might cost $500,000 in the Midwest, but that's after it's fixed up. So if you're able, it might take you a little bit longer to find that kind of property, but you are able to find it. The next step is the financing, right? And a $500,000 quadplex, it's kind of crazy, right? In most places, it's kind of crazy, and that is okay because you only need to bring in 3%. fun calculator out here, and let's type in 500 grand. 500 grand times 3%, that is $15,000 for a down payment. Divide that by 12, that's $1,250 a month. So let's say your closing costs on that $500,000 quadplex is, let's say the closing cost by itself is 6% times 6%. So that's 30,000 divided by 12. That's $2,500 a month. Well, how can you save 2,500 or plus 1,250? How can you save $3,750 a month? Or let's wait for 2 years, right? So 3,750 times 12, $45,000 divided by 24 months, 1875 a year, right? Or a month, a year for 2 years, right? I think the patience is going to be well worth it. And what is that? That is getting a gig job. Once I left college, I Ubered and I made good money on the weekends. Sometimes I make three 350 to $800 a weekend Ubering in Austin, Texas, especially in a college town when these people are drunk and they are tipping, and you want to make sure they get there safely. So Uber was very popular, right? I did that one on the weekends. You can do it throughout the week because you just graduated college. Let's be real. You don't have as much responsibilities. You're most likely just still trying to live it up and enjoy not having to do homework, enjoy not having as much responsibilities. I had enough time to work, party, go to the gym, work 44 plus hours a week, and repeat. And I still had time to Uber, right? If you are looking into your future at that early age, that is one of the most beneficial things you could do. Save, house hack, repeat. Because the thing that we haven't even got into yet is, yes, let's say you find the woman or the man of your dreams and y'all get cramped and you don't want to have neighbors so close to you. You don't want to have to deal with the management headache. You don't want to have to deal with them knowing that you're the owner and always bringing you issues. And they don't necessarily need to be the owner, but a lot of times it's not too hard to find out. Well, after you house hack, once you leave, you can just rent out the place that you were living at, or you can refinance, take that cash out tax free, still move out, use that to buy your personal home, or use that to buy another one and house hack again, right? Because once you leave, then you can rent that out and add that on top of the money that you were already cash flowing with, right? Because it's not hard to get a low down payment loan, especially when you're younger, especially when you have a good W 2. And it's a lot easier when you don't have someone telling you they don't want to live next to people. Because the older you get, the busier you'll get, and the less you're going to want to deal with neighbors like that. It's true, right? I thought I'd be able to I want to invest forever. I thought my wife would be able to jump on board and do the living flips. And the reality is that's just not true because it's not for everybody. Most people, quite frankly, do not care. And especially in your early 20s, even mid 20s, it's hard to find people just like you, just like me, so invested, passionate in real estate because it's not easy. It's hard. And you usually don't see all that money just coming in your pocket every week, every month, like you can with a W 2. And since it's not get rich quick, it's not sexy. So if you are able, or if you do have a family and they are willing to do a small sacrifice and house hack to save thousands of dollars a month, multiple thousands of dollars a year to eventually build equity, reduce your monthly payment, then it is well worth it. So if you're listening, I hope I got the point across. And I hope you seriously consider house hacking. House hacking is the most powerful tool that you can do as a first investment. is a tool that can help you understand how to be a property manager easier. It is also a easier way to property manage since you're right next door. It will toughen you up because you're going to have to deal with tough conversations. Hopefully not. Hopefully you get a great tenant, but there's not one single investor who's had the perfect tenant all the time, always. It's just not there. It just doesn't happen, right? It's an anomaly. So it gives you so much experience and it helps you understand what you look for in a property manager. It also helps you understand what property managers go through because it's not easy, and it gives you a little bit more respect for that little extra percentage that they're taking on a monthly basis, which only ends up being a couple $100 a month, right? And if you have a duplex, let's say a duplex, and your mortgage is $2,000, and you can rent each unit for $1,500, right? That's $1,000 profit. $1,000 profit gross, and then you'll still come out a couple of $100 a month of cash flow. And a couple $100 may not seem like much, but we're here to stack money, baby. We're here to stack wealth and get another one. That's another couple $100. Get another property. That's another couple $100. And then you're able to maybe either refi to a 1031 and buy a 10 unit, right? It stacks up, the equity builds up, and you're not paying it. So I hope you're understanding that house hacking is a very powerful tool, and it is the most powerful tool that you can do that is very feasible for someone in their early 20s with less responsibility, or even those who may not have a family yet in their early 30s. Just it all depends on your situation, what you can handle, what your family can handle, and understand this. If you can house hack, it's worth it. Until next time, stay ready, family. See ya. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. I really hope you enjoyed. My goal with these podcasts is to help you get 1% better every single day. And if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe and go to my YouTube channel because I post real life deals and the ongoing things that I'm doing to let you know that I'm walking the talk and not just talking about it, not just yapping. So hope to see you next week. Till next time.